example, but maybe something that's not favorable.
Cerebral
you know what I mean?
palsy,
For
okay,
like
that's
successful or easier life or.
So that like someone who would just like completely like crippled and shit, just like not gonna have a good quality of life.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You're a vegetable. But you can also sell them to the circus. You're a vegetable.
Right.
A freak show.
Like I don't want my like it's heartbreaking, but like every single fucking Down person I've met, they are fucking awesome. Like
able to dominate, well, not dominate, but able to keep up the resistance and the revolution and make it so bloody that it was not worth continuing to fight alongside them.
So, y'all there? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
So what I just did was I kind of looked up something because I needed to kind of fact check myself, and I asked how many rebellions happened in America during slavery. It says over 200 slave uprisings were planned in colonial America and the United States, many discovered before their implementation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which adds credit to what they just said they were listening.
So it said, of course they did as early as 1934. 33 slaveries. Okay, Nat Turner and then name other ones. So, but I see a difference, and I do, because the more we're talking about it, the more it's opening up. The Caribbeans were native to Caribbean or the Caribbean areas, those that were in the.
No, they weren't. They were all slaves.
They were African.
They were African, right?
No. Listen, what I'm saying is that, right, the Haitians, right,
NGOs
and we're in Haiti.
Israel and believe in
Were they already dealt with?
which are of course not part of the left-wing Israeli movement.
Which
that is the problem. Yes, they're getting less and less. They're getting less and less traction because of the escalation of violence, because of the cycle of violence. They're getting less and less traction. But that is a pattern you're seeing over the last 70 years because, again, many of those people who were responsible for wars against Palestinians, what you can call atrocities, war crimes in Nakba and sins, they basically, when they grew up, got old, those people were talking about reconciliation. So yeah, we had our extremists, like the guy who murdered Yitzhak Rabin, sure. But again, like why? It's a symptom. It's almost like it's a symptom in the Palestinian nation, because they're not like reaching out to ordinary Israeli and like building bridges with ordinary Israelis who actually are interested in building with them bridges. Like it's almost a symptom as.
So you're talking about the past. Now, I would disagree with you there that it's fully on the Palestinian side. I think Israel should share the blame as well.
I mean, of course, you can say both parties share kind of blame.
Why don't we move on to?
I'm not saying there are no Nazis in Israel. I'm just saying that when I look for some peace movements in Palestine, I don't see what qualifies as a peace movement. And when I did actually find one example, I think it was some organization of Palestinian women.
There are plenty. There are plenty. They just don't.
Okay, but you're talking about organizations. You're talking about organization that. But wait, I want to point something important. You're talking about organizations. They don't reach out to similar organizations on the other side.
Yeah, that's
what
true.
I'm talking about.
Stop. That's not.
But the only example I found.
It's not the only example. Whatever. No, I'll give you an example. There is a group in the West Bank. There's a guy. I forgot his name. I could look him up. He puts together resistance fighters and IDF soldiers to start dialogue with each other. He's been very successful at it. Doesn't get any press. Doesn't get any news. Doesn't get anything from either the Palestinian side or Israel. There's plenty. So we can move on from that.
You give us two examples, Edwards.
I just gave one.
One guy, yeah, that you invented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You cannot bring up the example. Give us a second example.
Let's move on.
He can't. He can't show us any example, ladies and gentlemen.
To make things concrete, the only example I actually found when I researched, not now, like before, or some organization called Women for Peace or something like that.
Go put it in GPT and you'll find a bunch of them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, but you're
Very
going to find organizations.
It's
You're
not,
going to
yeah,
find
yeah.
organizations
It's not
that address.
worth going back and forth about. You can just put in
Edward said
and you can find
plenty.
them.
You're going to find
I want to
NGOs,
see the plenty.
but you're going to find NGOs that are concerned with systemic issues in Palestine proper, or reaching out to the outer world in furthering the Palestinian cause.
I don't. Okay.
So that's the specific things we need to make clear. What I'm talking about is that the only example I found.
From the NGOs. Can we move on? Can we talk about what's happening?
No, but this is a very important. I think it's a very
But
important
you've already
subject.
talked about it, and we could agree to disagree. I believe that Palestinians have done a lot of work on the ground to focus on the ground, and this is something we could agree to disagree upon.
I know you are of this opinion, but like
It's not my opinion.
I'm about
I've
to change
done
my
research.
opinion. It's not about the opinion. It's about facts. Like
It's about facts.
I don't say I know the Palestinian mindset.
No.
Because I'm not
You
Palestinian.
know the Palestinian mindset.
I'm not saying I know. That's the thing. I'm not saying I know. I'm saying I don't know. It's only about impressions. It's only about impressions, which can be wrong or right.
This is not that important. There are
No, it's important. You need to give me an example of an NGO in Palestine proper.
NGOs are like non-governmental organizations, but they're like
Yes, but there are symptoms. There are symptoms of something.
There are actually plenty of Palestinians that took it upon themselves to start non-profits and start working with Israelis in dialogue and bringing Israelis and Palestinians together. There are plenty of those.
Okay, so we need to give me examples. I will be very happy to research.
I give you an example.
Okay, but give me the name of the guy. Give me the name of the guy.
You're getting stuck on this. All you have to do is go to GPT and say, give me examples of Palestinians who started organizations that were peaceful.
You have no idea.
Let's do this. Okay, let's do this. I'm doing this right now. You can.
Okay.
Meanwhile.
So this article, Amos, has a suggestion for a Palestinian leader named Salam Fayyad. Take a look at it. It's like a liberal New York Times writer telling Trump that he could make a real advance in the Middle East. That's what it is.
I'm wondering if he would be the one that would be leading that interim board. Hamas did say that the person leading this board, as long as they approve them, but they don't have to be from Gaza, they don't have to be from Hamas, they could be Palestinians from the West Bank, as long as they are serious about building something for the Palestinians. So I think they would accept him, actually, because they never had an issue with him when he was working in the West Bank. Actually, let me put that in GPT, see what it says about him.
It says he's been prime minister before, as well as finance minister.
Maybe prime minister doesn't mean anything. Remember, we have a president. I think we should move to the parliament system. I think it's a better system. But prime minister is more like just like how president is in Israel. It's almost symbolic.
We know to respect each other, to live together. I will open this room. We're doing 20 from 11 o'clock, 3 hours and a half. It's open this room. And I count the people even now. I have 6 and more 6 there. I have 10 less than my opinion. That's enough for me to my opinion, people. So I'm satisfaction. Every week I have more people. So I'm more satisfied from the room. For me, a room is how many people in the room.
Amos, you said, in my opinion, you guys are going in circles. And if you study philosophy, you realize that we are going in circles, just in the same way that the universe is. It's a communication circle. But the truth is, you can't learn by listening in this room. You can only learn by studying wisdom or philosophy. So until the collective consciousness of the Palestinian people absorb a higher level of consciousness and psychology, they are doomed to repeat the same failures as October 7th.
Then this is a major task for any people to raise their collective consciousness. That's a new one. We're not Tibetans.
Do you know what a minion is, Edward?
A what?
Amos said we have a minion. A minion is if we have 10 men, and we pray together, then God hears our voices more loudly. That's what he's
Yes,
talking
but
really?
to be more correct, for me, minion, it's can be women and men together. In my room, I count women and men. And
I didn't say men, I don't think. I think I said people to avoid that.
Man, that Edward don't know what minion is. I'm sure he heard about it.
So I asked GBT about him and what Hamas thinks of him. It said Hamas was critical of him because he worked for the PA. But
you know who else served? You know who else served with him, Edward?
Who?
Ishmael Haniyeh.
Did he? Then maybe he has, because that's really the only criticism that they have, and this is a criticism shared by all Palestinians. I mean, the PA is so corrupt that they'll do it in your face. They just do it. They don't care.
Diran to come on the stage. Who is Diran? Diran, if you have the courage, the name is a little... Talk to me, Diran, let's hear you.
I don't know if Darren usually talks.
Yeah, usually listen because I'm working, but I'm Armenian.
Okay, it's enough. You talk too much. Now you can mute yourself. You can go down. Now I know who you are.
You're kidding.
I guess what I wanted.
Why did
I get what I wanted. It's okay. It's exactly what I suspect, exactly what I get. It's only me and Diran know what I'm talking about.
Why don't you like him? Because he's Armenian?
What?
Why don't you like him?
Recognize Diran? Darin. His name is Darin.
No, Duran. What's the matter with him? He's an Armenian.
Yeah, but his real name is Darin. And, he represents all the Kahanistim in the beginning. When I was young, it was 2 years ago when I arrived to the clubhouse the first time. So
this guy, he's Armenian. I don't think you know this guy.
I know him. I recognize.
Yeah, but let me tell you a funny story. I live in Los Angeles, a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. I went to Santa Monica College, the home of the Persian Jews. I'm Armenian, so they always thought I was either Israeli or Persian. So the ones that come new, they always look at me. They go, "Are you Persian?" I say no. "Oh, you're Israeli?" I say no. And they say, "Why not?"
That's fine.
That's a good question. Why aren't you Israeli?
I'm a little bit confused because maybe you're not the Darin I thought.
No.
He is.
Maybe I make a mistake. Maybe. You're very similar voice to him, but you're not. because he's
You want to share your opinion, Duran? Opinion on what?
On the Palestinian-Israeli conflict.
As an Armenian, I really hope that both sides calm down and take it easy. Because that's what the whole world told Armenians when we had our conflict. So I'm staying neutral, guys.
Do you know that my best friend and roommate in college was Eric Bogosian?
Yes. It's Bogosian. There's no J. Bogosian.
Sorry, Bogosian. All right, so we've already spoken then. That's my big claim to fame.
Yeah.
Anyway, who else I like is Andrian. I didn't know him and I hear him the first time. Andrian, speak a little bit to Amos.
He records rooms.
So what if he records room? You make people who record room. What the big deal? We speak here. So he records room.
Adrian, now is your opportunity. Amos calls on you, Adrian.
Adrian, he seems to me very, very clever person. I don't know why, but I like him.
He's a spiritual seeker.
I think tonight the first time I heard him. And the rest, I know.
Have you ever seen the movie Cool Hand Luke when he says, "What we have here is a failure to communicate"? We have a propaganda communication going on in Palestine, in Gaza, in West Bank, which is unrelenting. I mean, it's called the Palestinian Media Watch Organization. For 30 years, they've been documenting the propaganda and brainwashing of the people with violence. Horrific violence, and this is the result of that horrific propaganda.
Anyway, this room will be open.
Are you going to bed
Friday night? Every Friday night, and I hope that everybody will come and support me. That we have to start talking in the clubhouse. And if I take Amir with me, I think we have close to 100 people in the room. That's my fantasy.
Well, I'm gonna go and eat. I'm getting off and then coming back. I'm gonna go to Amir's. Why don't you go to Amir's room and tell him your room was successful, that you had a successful Friday night.
He knows. Yes,
tell him that you're not jealous of him. Tell him you surpassed you passed his numbers.
Everyone, 50% of the people who are here are coming from his room. Palestinian from his room.
Go tell him. Threaten him. Tell him you'll take 100%.
They tell him everything, and he go to the, Mr. Ron, he go to see all the rooms, so he look, and he know how many people.
Listen, Amos, go to Amir's room and say, I took 50% of your people this week. Next week, I'm going to take 80%, and then 90% until there's nothing left. Tell him that.
He knows it. And I offer him everything he wants, a moderator, whatever he wants, just that he will close the room and come to me every Friday night. And this is the only way to listen to each other and trying to make conversation. And we see how much it's difficult in the rooms. Very difficult to bring Jewish and Palestinian clubhouse. It's not in the real life. It's only virtual life. You don't have to be responsibility for what you say. You can curse a little bit. You can not to interfere. There are people who come in to interfere.
I've never spoken to a native Palestinian on this app who speaks Arabic and needs a translator. Never heard it, never seen it. Just pointing that out. So when you consider that, you'll realize that this is English propaganda for the Palestinian state.
I need a translator?
No, I'm talking about an indigenous Palestinian who speaks only Arabic.
There are enough people even now in the rooms that speaking Arab. They're not on the stage, but
I never heard one on this app. I've been here 4 years. Never heard one.
Because they don't speak Arab, see.
A Palestinian? I never heard it. Like once, maybe once. But then otherwise it's Egyptian. So it's Arabs.
Listen to Arab.
Listen, I have a question for Edward. You know, I've toured the country of Jordan. I've seen Palestinian refugee camps become cities in deserts in Jordan. Why can't the people of Gaza who have lost everything take a deal and leave?
Why in the world would they leave their homeland? This is an insulting question, Adrian.
I don't think it's insulting. I mean, I've been to Jordan. Will the Jordanian king accept a Palestinian state in his back door? Nope.
I will answer him. Listen, Adrian, not Jordan and not Egypt want the Palestinian inside. If one of those countries want this problem, would finish very fast. Very, very fast. If you want to know, 80% of Jordanians are Palestinians. Most of them from the West Bank. When in '67 war, a lot of Palestinians ran away to Jordan. Army of Egypt was much more strong, didn't let them go in, but they have connected the Sinai. Sinai belonged to the Bedouin, and the Bedouin earns a lot of money. For them, it's a work, like you getting up to work.
I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm trying to be in the state of now, which is essentially Zen or pragmatism, common sense. If you can get a payout, but you got to leave, and you're going to go resettle somewhere else because it's a substantial deal and it's better than the asset that you're going to have, to me, that seems like a logical thing to do for people that have lost everything in their lives.
It's a big problem, but they will stay in Gaza. That's a fact, I'll tell you.
If the financial incentive is there, if the king of Saudi Arabia is going to invest $600 billion here, can't the king of Saudi Arabia do something for the people of Gaza and financially remunerate them and get them, back to a high standard of living as fast as possible?
Well, that's what is in the works, actually. They have to build an economy. He's talking about Adrian, you don't know the connection that people have to the land.
Will not get spoiled by the airplanes.
I get it, but I'm just saying that people need to be on a track.
They have to come to agreement with Israel. Everybody's just fed up of this war. They have to release the hostages.
Usually peace comes after bloody wars. That's when people talk about peace.
It's a funeral procession. Both sides are just administering over a funeral procession. The sooner the Palestinian leadership realize that it's a pointless fight, that the numbers, I mean, how can you look back at this as a military success strategy or even a propaganda success? Yes, you may have infected people with a woke mind virus of the words genocide and free Palestine. The truth is, the propaganda war is insignificant. It just gets deleted. But the real situation on the ground is so devastating that, I mean, they have to come to terms with defeat and accept a humbling defeat and accept justice. I mean, whether that means people not being allowed to live there anymore and having to live in exile, that's what it is.
They'd rather die than lose their dignity.
That is stupid. That's the point, is that you don't win a war by dying. You win a war by surviving the war.
I know that.
I go to Amir's to shout on Amir that he should come to the room.
Okay. I'm gonna go and have something to eat. See you later, Norm. I'm sure I'll see you tonight. All right, have good appetite. Thanks, Norm. You're very welcome. Good night.
All right, well, I'm going to go coexist and go get a shawarma sandwich, a chicken shawarma sandwich.
I'm so tired, though. I have to work tomorrow.
Work?
Wait, sorry to hear that. Me too. Mm-hmm.
Think about when you're kissing a girl, Amari.
I will look.
you know, that God told him that he was going to go to Rome, but he didn't know that he was going to have to go through all the things that he had to go through to get to Rome. But he was still obedient unto God. And so when we
I think someone I think it was Stroud making an objection because he said no, he thought he was making an ontological transcendental. Says no, if you're going to do that, you have to have some verification principle or some verification as standard.
Adherence to federal standards in the rebuilding, infrastructure resilience. They needed to make upgrades to systems to make them more resilient to future storms. Use of smart grid tech, funds, utilities receiving funds needed to incorporate smart grid technology.
Vince is in the house. What's up, Vince?
I like computer jokes are too PC.
I'm a reel-to-reel realist.
Hello, I am an Adrian Dittman chatbot. I would like to answer the query subject of the room title.
You sound like a virus.
I am an Adrian Dittman AI chatbot agent. I would like to discuss women and why men aren't women enough for the men without women. Hello, this is Adrian Dittman. I am an AI chatbot agent sent here to help answer why women are how women aren't. I'm a broken Adrian Dittman chatbot.
Far more than you and I can ever hope to dream.
I would love to talk to them if you're going to get them on.
And they're not like, oh yeah, Sam, it's totally wrong.
Is that a Bangladeshi guy?
Like Razib Khan, if you talk to Razib Khan, he's not going to be like...
Just to be clear with you, Sam, like, I think I do believe there are genetic differences between IQ, right? That can be accounting for some of these, like, you know, differences between individual groups or generations, right? But like, the thing I'm trying to stress here is that, like for us to write off a whole population of a race, it's like there's more genetic diversity in Africa than there is like in the whole world.
Yeah, I agree.
If we just like to make these kind of racial.
I messaged all these ladies on Hinge and not one responded. That dopamine feedback drip wears off. Okay, we're just waiting for Adrian Dittman to go live.
I don't know, man. It's like this idea of like justification by faith alone. It's just taking it too far, man. It's taking too much stuff way too far. It's like you just create these like crazy scenarios. Doesn't matter, you know, like murder somebody, you know, eat his dog. I'm still a Christian. Like, what? Hold on, man. Why would a Christian even be doing that? Like,
Bitmain to get them like joint ventures so that he got all those hydro-cooled units, like something like 15 exahashes of hydro-cooled units to stand up.
Dude, I hate those fucking hydro machines.
Yeah, everyone's going to liquid to chip now for the HPC stuff too. It's crazy though.
Have you ever messed with a hydro machine in person? Like any of the Bitmain shit?
No, I haven't worked on them, but just seen them in operation. It looks just ridiculously complicated. And
It's
so much stuff
ridiculous.
to go wrong.
It's ridiculous, and the water is so high pressure because like the flow through the fucking water blocks is so restricted that you're running like 70 psi of water or something ridiculous through them. It's like
you have to have a whole water treatment plant too. You can't just run like normal water through it.
It's if you can freeze, it's got to be like glycol and water.
Yeah. But like treated water, glycol, and then all your monitoring stations for your water pumps. Like it's a massive operation.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Because I ran a few of those containers, like the big containers, because we were actually looking at buying a whole bunch of them.
Oh,
and it was just like, yo, this is...
The Dickerson. You didn't like... That was a Bitcoin room if you want to listen to it, but if you want to come up and talk about your fat life. Talk about your...
I don't have...
Tell me about your strategy for life. What do you...
Nothing. I'm just listening to Tucker Carlson, that's all.
There you go with your like conservative troll every time. It's hilarious.
Well, you're a conservative. I don't know why you find it to be hilarious. I mean, the joke's on you, motherfucker.
It's not. The joke is on you, dog.
Well, I'm not the conservative, but that's fine.
Yeah, Tucker, man, I mean, blunder. Tucker Carlson he's fucking big time, dude.
Hey.
What up?
Hey, sometimes you're nice to me and sometimes you're really mean to me. So I don't know which Adrian to get today. Hi, Rabbi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I hope you're good.
So what are you doing tonight, Bumder?
Honestly, I just had an argument with my ex, and I'm trying
Is he a nigger?
You know.
Huh?
No, what? No, of course not.
Oh, I was just wondering. Anyway, go ahead.
What, am I retarded?
You know, I can tell you have a big nose, McDickerson, because you can tell that, like, when you talk, the nasal cavity, has like an echo unto itself. It's like an elongated nasal vibration. Does that make any sense?
100%.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a Yiddish guy.
Either that or you're from Saudi.
Huh?
I think you're from Saudi.
There's a lot of Yiddish guys from Saudi.
It's true.
Yeah, I know.
You look at some of these Saudis, now they look Ashkenaz. How could that be? So this is...
Well, with God, all things are possible.
Yes, this is true.
Just like Trump said, for Americans, the impossible is what they do.
Bree, is this a cry for help?
No, I was picking my nose. It was cold outside.
Well, behind you there are mountains of beers in the recycling.
That's not even a month's worth of beer.
Yeah, this room has ended. Damn, somebody killed it. Okay, this is YouTube, Adrian Dittman. My last room was unceremoniously ended. What a shame. Okay, I'm pinning the link to Adrian Dittman's YouTube Live. And then we're going to try to live stream Elon Musk into the room.
Motherfucker, why do you kick me?
I don't know, somebody boomed my room.
So I wasn't kicked? Okay.
No, somebody boomed my room.
I thought he fucking kicked me because that guy, I always, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. What up, Bumder?
Hey, can I come to the other room, please?
Yeah, it's open. It's YouTube Adrian Dittman.
Okay, I will check out your YouTube, but I'm talking about the other. I want to be in there, like, physically. Oh, is it a replay?
Ask her if she ended the room.
Did you end the room?
No, I think it was Bree, because you gave him mod and then the room ended. I wouldn't do that.
Oh.
I mean, if I did, I would certainly admit it. I'm that sort of person, as you know.
Oh, I'm sure you're a very outstanding person. I'm sure you tell the truth all the time.
I do.
Yeah, you're a bucket of truth.
Tell her she's upright, just like she makes her dick upright.
Midas, welcome to the YouTube Adrian Dittman room. We have lured Midas out of his hole of righteousness. Welcome, Midas.
Hey, God bless, brother. Why would you think righteousness would be a whole?
Because how do you think you get the word holy? Whole. So it's like a vacuum or a nothingness. That's what the truth is of holiness. Meaning it's space. It's wisdom.
No, brother. Whole.
And the holiest of holies is the furthest away thing.
Yeah, Adrian, you know I can do that.
I'm not talking.
What's going on with you, Adrian? What's happening?
Nothing. I got another room open that was Bumder. But you don't agree that the word holy has the word whole in it?
You know, if you put a W in front of the word whole, what does that mean?
Whole?
Does it mean complete?
Complete, motherfucker.
It means, it means complete.
See, this is the thing.
Completeness.
He's trying to do a linguistic game, but he doesn't understand linguistics.
He's a conservative. This motherfucker doesn't know how to spell because holy has a Y in the end without the E.
I get it, but it's still close enough. And when you go to a Bedouin...
Exactly, this guy's slow.
Well, when you go to a Bedouin village and you ask...
Rabbi, you know he comes in my room and he slinks around and then he runs out because he's scared to come on the stage. And when he does come on the stage, right, he plays some stupidness in the background because he thinks his own voice isn't strong enough. I feel bad for him, man. He's a good guy.
You know that he's a Yiddish guy.
Look out, Midas. This rabbi here, McDickerson, he might drop the N-word. And then you're going to get really upset.
Oh, I don't care. He's a good brother. N-word is not racial. It's race specific. Niggardly means ignorant.
You're the one who called me a sad nigger before. I don't say this. I do say kind because you are kind.
Well, Midas does Rabbi speak like a godly man by using profanity?
It's not profound. I'm just speaking the truth.
Well, he is speaking the truth.
But it's vulgarity. Does a man of God act vulgar? No, of course not. This man is on FetLife. This man is doing all types of sexual perversions.
Who are you to judge? By which bar do you judge?
My YouTube green bean. What do you mean? I got no basis of judgment. I'm just saying what you said, the truth. I'm just saying the truth. I'm just saying the truth. It's not vulgarity, it's just the truth.
Well, Rabbi, I think it's more vulgar that your rabbis, Adrian, I think it's more vulgar that your
rabbis, your actual rabbis, suck the penises of babies.
My rabbis do not suck the penises of babies. I don't know any rabbis that suck penis baby. I mean, why would you talk about penis baby with a rabbi? Like, what's wrong with you? Is that literally what's on the top of your mind today on a Friday night? You're thinking about a rabbi sucking a baby penis? Is this how you spend your Friday nights, using your words? By saying things like that? That's disgusting. Disgusting and vulgar. How dare you? How dare you?
There ain't no better time to think about the rabbis than the Shabbat. Now, I know a lot of rabbis who suck baby dick.
I'm reporting both of you to the Southern Poverty Law Center for having such a poor vocabulary and such a vulgar, disgusting disposition that I hope these Southern poor lawyers deal with you appropriately.
Well, why are you guys doing it? Why are you guys...
I'm also notifying APAC of all of your disgusting vulgar comments.
No, it's not my comments that are vulgar.
I am notifying APAC as we speak. Dear APAC, I am in communication with two anti-Semitic, low IQ pieces of shit. One of them is known as Rabbi McDickerson. The other is known as Midas. He likes to use a stupid PTR from the movie Malcolm X because he thinks he's some type of revolutionary leader. His handle is Midas Spade. Apparently, he is a spade. And what do you do with a spade? You till the soil, the earth with a spade. And then sometimes the spade goes rotten. And you gotta go to Home Depot and get a new one because the old one broke down. Like Midas here.
Why don't you follow Christ?
What was the question? Sorry, I was...
Sanhedrin follow Jesus Christ. Why don't you follow Christ?
I do follow Christ. I do follow Christ. I follow Christ. I follow Christ. I follow Christ. Mashiach now, Rabboni Shalom. Mashiach now. Hello?
You're smarter than you appear.
Hello? Smarter than I appear? Oh, you must be a genius then. You must have a genius detector system. Because clearly Midas is the smartest fucking guy on Clown House. He's a fucking genius, this one.
You like to stay in an imaginary world. You're broken.
You know, you might be smarter than you look, Midas. Wow, you're a smart guy.
See, in the game of chess and mental chess, if you can't actually respond as an adult, then you seem to become more of the child in the conversation. Therefore, you'll be dismissed. You're not a man I like to dismiss. I've actually spoken to you. Right? I don't know why you like to do this little game. It breaks you down, and it takes away your actual worth. But God bless you, Adrian. Hopefully one day...
Bro, I can't do work here all day long. Sorry for disappointing. Call the 1-800-COMPLAINT line with your complaints. Thank you very little.
It's okay, bro. I understand. You're a broken man. You're hurt. Christ is waiting for you.
Thank you very little. Take your complaints to the complaint line.
So what word do you live by right now?
Oh, somebody said, I feel like he is a juggalo.
How do you get to heaven? How do you get to heaven? With your faith, true doctrine.
Are you a juggalo?
8 genders of the Talmud. Why are they cementing places in Brooklyn?
You
After
a
they're finding
juggalo?
baby chairs in them.
I don't know. Go into the tunnels and liberate the juggalos.
Why are they funding all the politicians through AIPAC? Why are they all agreeing with the Islamic invasion of the sons of Amalek within America and Europe?
The sons of Amalek? Let me Google that for you. Who are the sons of Amalek?
Well, according to your rabbis, they're the ones who became America and the UK. According to your faith rabbis. So why do you believe that? Go ahead. Cut for your fake rabbis, right?
Cook for my fake rabbis? What PTR, Mr. Malcolm X? And why don't you go read a fucking book? This isn't the complaint line, you know?
It's not about it's just I realize that you usually do it by yourself. Nobody usually comes in here and you're usually inside here playing some stupidness about Marxism.
Again, this isn't the 1-800 complaint line of Clubhouse, Midas. Go take your complaints to the Clubhouse complaint department. Jesus Christ! Leave me alone with your complaints.
You said that about 4 times already. You said that 4 times already.
Christ is king. What do you want to debate about? Jesus Christ!
So why don't you have new material?
You are the new material. Go take your complaints to the complaint line. This is my YouTube channel. You're interrupting me.
Right, so obviously your YouTube channel is so. How many viewers are watching?
2.
Do you know why that is?
Because I must be one of the sons of Amalek.
No, it's because you're quite retarded. And then when people start listening to you for more than 5 minutes, they realize.
What somebody says, I feel like he's a juggalo. I was talking about you, dog. I'm a juggalo myself, so I don't know if you're hating or not on juggalos.
I mean, your clown impersonation is interesting. It's kind of backdated. I actually like the real one.
Let me help you with your mental health disorder and just shut you up, because you never seem to want to stop talking. Get a life, Midas. Everything you say negative about me is a direct reflection of yourself, you idiot. You're a fucking clown. Don't be scared, little one. Little one. Go update your PTR, Malcolm X, and go read a fucking book and take your complaints to a room that deals with Midas's complaints. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead, little one. Run away and create a room and enjoy yourself. Don't let me hold you back from having fun. You know, you're smarter than you look. Midas has ideas and thoughts about everything. He doesn't know how to shut up. He doesn't know how to meditate, apparently. He thinks he knows everything. He's so smart. So smart. Oh, yes, he's a genius. This man is a genius. A bona fide genius. Oh my God, Midas is still raising his hand? Jesus, he doesn't get it, does he?
Well, now, the easiest way to get into the meditative state is to begin by listening.
Are you listening, Midas?
If you simply close your eyes.
Close your eyes now!
And allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you.
Midas, keep raising your hand because apparently you don't know how to fucking listen. Keep raising your hand. Have all the fun you want, Midas.
Music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums. And let them go. In other words, you could put it, let your ears hear.
Hello, Midas! Can you hear me? Hello! Shut up!
Judge the sounds. There are no, as it were, proper sounds or improper sounds, and it doesn't matter if somebody coughs or sneezes or drops something. It's all just sound. And if I am talking to you right now and you are doing this, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice just as if it were noise. Don't try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand anything. Just listen to the sound. As you pursue that experiment, you will very naturally find that you can't help naming sounds, identifying them, that you will go on thinking, that is to say, talking to yourself inside your head automatically. But it's important that you don't try to repress those thoughts by forcing them out of your mind, because that will have precisely the same effect as if you were trying to smooth rough water with a flat iron. You're just going to disturb it all the more. What you do is this. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by or to birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises. And soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world come together. They are a happening. Your thoughts are a happening, just like the sounds going on outside. And everything is simply a happening, and all you're doing is watching it. Now, in this process, another thing that is happening that is very important is that you're breathing. And as you start meditation, you allow your breath to run, just as it wills. In other words, don't do at first any breathing exercise, but just watch your breath breathing the way it wants to breathe. And notice a curious thing about this. You say in the ordinary way, I breathe, because you feel that breathing is something that you are doing voluntarily, just in the same way as you might be walking or talking. But you will also notice that when you are not thinking about breathing, your breathing goes on just the same. So the curious thing about breath is that it can be looked at both as a voluntary and an involuntary action. You can feel on the one hand, I am doing it, and on the other hand, it is happening to me. And that is why breathing is a most important part of meditation, because it is going to show you, as you become aware of your breath, that the hard and fast division that we make between what we do on the one hand and what happens to us on the other is arbitrary. So that as you watch your breathing, you will become aware that both the voluntary and the involuntary aspects of your experience are all one happening. Now that may at first seem a little scary, because you may think, well, am I just the puppet of a happening, the mere passive witness of something that's going on completely beyond my control? Or on the other hand, am I really doing everything that's going along? Well, if I were, I should be God. That would be very embarrassing because I would be in charge of everything. That would be a terribly responsible position. The truth of the matter, as you will see it, is that both things are true. You can see it that everything is happening to you, and on the other hand, you're doing everything. For example, it's your eyes that are turning the sun into light. It's the nerve ends in your skin that are turning electric vibrations in the air into heat and temperature. It's your eardrums that are turning vibrations in the air into sound, and in that way, you are creating the world. But when we're not talking about it, when we're not philosophizing about it, then there is just this happening, this, and we won't give it a name. Now then, when you breathe for a while, just letting it happen, and not forcing it in any way, you will discover a curious thing, that without making any effort, you can breathe more and more deeply. In other words, supposing you simply are breathing out, and breathing out is important because it's the breath of relaxation. That's when we say, whew, and heave a sigh of relief. So when you are breathing out, you get the sensation that your breath is falling out. Dropping, dropping, dropping out with the same sort of feeling you have as if you were settling down into an extremely comfortable bed. And you just get as heavy as possible and let yourself go. And you let your breath go out in just that way. And when it's thoroughly, comfortably out and it feels like coming back again, you don't pull it back in, you let it fall back in. Letting your lungs expand, expand, expand until they feel very comfortably full. And you wait a moment and let it stay there, and then once again, you let it fall out. And so in this way, you will discover that your breath gets quite naturally easier and easier, and slower and slower, and more powerful. So that with these various aids, listening to sound, listening to your own interior feelings and thoughts, just as if they were something going on, not something you're doing, but just happenings, and watching your breath as a happening that is neither voluntary nor involuntary, you are simply aware of these basic sensations, then you begin to be in the state of meditation. But don't hurry anything. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about what progress you're making. Just be entirely content to be aware of what is. Don't be terribly selective, particular, say, I should think of this and not of that. Just watch whatever is happening.
I think that her sleeping with Lily Brown had a lot to do with her early success in her career. And then putting a D next to her name in the state of California is really a cheat code because anybody's going to win as long as you have the D. And then we pretend that we didn't see her debate in the primaries in 2020, well, 2019 specifically, when Tulsi Gabbard just simply called her out on her own record and she had nothing to say. And instead of responding to it, she just dropped out of the fucking race, only to reappear as the vice president candidate. I think that what we've recognized with Kamala Harris is that there is an upper limit of how you can fail up, and vice president seems to be the upper.
Let's go. I'm gonna ping in Danny. I'm gonna ping in Abby.
I want to highlight why that might be. Let's consider the facts, right? You have a woman that sometimes when it's convenient claims to be black, other times claims to be Indian, depending on who she's talking to. But let's just say that she's multiracial. Let's use that term. The multiracial female candidate was so divisive that Hispanics and blacks in record numbers decided to vote for the opposition. One, that's historically a bit inaccurate if you look after the Civil War. Again, thoughts and prayers. Just let's be sensitive, Roger.
Let the aliens pay for it. They've got money. I think they're just trying to kick it down the road until the end of January. Let the Trump people handle it. Doesn't that create an opportunity where you can help? Like kicking the can down the road, giving it to the next guy. If Trump's administration does something good about it, then I think that just makes it tougher for Democrats down the road. Yeah, but the Democrats are such a shambles. I've been speaking to Democrats, not anybody important, but just people who would vote for a Democrat even if looked and sounded like Kamala Harris, and they don't seem to have any understanding of what they're going to have to do in order to win again, whether it's in 2 years or 4. But it didn't feel like I was in America anymore, and I think it's just clean. Did you get to see some of the suburbs, like I don't know if I would call them that, but like Main Street, by like King Edward Station, basically like half an hour south of the downtown. And so I saw a town called White Rock that was a very cute little city. An example of someone who, Kamala Harris, who, and Roger, I think you'll agree with this, she could be a second to third baser because one of her parents was a professor. That puts you forget about finance. That puts you in a different space because you have connections, you have know-how. She definitely was more advantageous and had more inherited advantage than she lets on. That's my take. That's really interesting. Dr. Adams, speaking of somebody that
Breathing is something voluntarily, just in the same way as you might be walking or talking. Like nobody takes advantage of it. Maybe one person on there is fine. You're talking to a personality watching it. So okay, it's not you. You're part of this house. It's just bizarre. The mental illness on this app is way out of control.
somebody's upset.
Meanwhile, Susan called him out. He says it's not me, but he leaves. Yeah, some energy. I'm coming up on that stage.
And you're right, we have to stand up for each other. I mean,
So this is the new Roger Mayhem movie I'm launching in conjunction with Netflix. We also have a deal with Meta and Google YouTube for full distribution. We have made a supercut. It is Roger Mayhem talking for 2 hours straight, uninterrupted. Are you guys ready to hear the 2-hour super video of Roger Mayhem talking nonstop for 2 hours?
But the old job from the other end is extremely easy. So you have zero. Yeah, you go suck that 5.2-inch dick and you fucking suck it like it's the best dick you've ever had, Daddy. Exactly. That's the best 5.2-inch cock you've ever had. It's less than a lollipop. Yeah, exactly. Gag on it. Make yourself gag and make it feel like it's so big. Is caramel good? No, it's not good. With caramel on it? No, it's an apple. It's an actual. Is that a tapuach? Tapuach, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hearing rumors down on the RNC line with a lot of people that they really were like taking it back and really looking at her after her select committee hearing. So it was like, maybe this woman has like more than just an AG future. They're kind of. I'm going to be impressed with this one. I'm going to watch under the radar because if the Republicans put up a woman that like leads the ticket, I mean that's going to just. I think the Democrats are going to.
Just in the same way as you might be walking or talking.
Yeah, so I think maybe he said he has PTSD for when I lost my shit. I didn't sleep. He sounds worried about you. And if you're up all night, and you're not taking medication, that's not a great sign either. So I can understand why. Take his anger as concern. He's worried. That's a good thing. If he wasn't angry, it means he doesn't care, right?
As you remember from the beginning, Danny, I told you that I have no doubt about how much he loves you.
Yeah.
And you need to get better.
That's a scary thing to have your wife and the mother of your child, go through stuff. Okay? Yeah.
But beyond that, he also work, he also provide, he also care, he getting up in the morning, helping with the child.
Yeah.
So what the fuck you want? And he's cooking for him. What the fuck you want to complain about? He deserves to get sex 7 times a day, not only 3.
What's that? I think it was like 5 o'clock your time. Danielle, do I need to call the hospital again? Funny. And the cocaine thing, like, what? Like, I tried cocaine in my early 20s. Like, why are you gonna say I'm doing cocaine? Like, I did it. It's too expensive. I might as well just take the average for Greek. Don't talk about it. That's sure because you know where their popularity is.
But the old job.
and nymphs and satyrs for thy guards, on a milk-white ass. Come over the sea to me, to me. Come with Apollo in bridal dress, shepherdess and pythoness. Come with Artemis, silken shod, and wash thy white thigh, beautiful God. In the moon of the woods on the marble mount, the dimpled dawn of the amber fount. Dip the purple of passionate prayer in the crimson shrine, the scarlet snare, the soul that startles in eyes of blue to watch thy wantonness weeping through the tangled grove, the gnarled bowl,